I saw a video on social media where a man of God was talking about how he had a call from one of his daughters outside the country, and how this person is a good person. This woman is a good woman. She had supported the ministry, and how one day she was just going to work on Sunday, just going to church on Sunday, and a drunk driver just lost control and just veered off the road and got into their car, and the lady's dead, the husband's dead, and the child. And from the narration, this is a good woman. This is a woman who loves God. This is a woman
Yeah.
who, um, you know, is a good person, right? It is said that good people don't live long. My question and our discussion today is, why do you think bad things happen to good people? Because from this man, this was a good woman, a woman who loves God, a woman who does good things,
Yeah.
but she this was not her fault. It wasn't like she was speeding, she was doing what. Why do you think? I mean, we've seen stories all over the news about men of God, that the man of God that lost their
Mm-hmm.
children, and other men of God that lost. Why do you think bad things happen to good people?
First of all, my condolence to all the families that
Yeah,
have had
yeah. The Lord keep you.
this is something that happens. And sometimes you think about it and wonder, God, do you have favorites? Like, why are you
Right,
allowing this happen
right,
to?
right.
And I think, and when you say good bad things happen to good people,
Yeah,
now again, I always talk about the Bible.
exactly. Yes.
Yeah. So when you look at the story of Job, Job was just a devoted Christian,
Right.
doing the work of God, doing all he has to do, but he lost everything.
Yeah.
And when you go back and look at the backstory, it's not because he did something wrong.
Right.
It's just because God had so much pride in him that, like, oh, me, you think Job, I mean, when you look at it well, it says Satan went to them and like, hey, have you seen my little man Job?
Yeah.
And Satan was like, oh yeah, I've seen him, but it's because you cover him, I can't touch him. And God is like, okay, fine, I will take my covering off him. But the only thing, you can afflict him however way you want, but the only thing you shouldn't do to him is to kill him.
Yeah.
Right? Now, when you look at it carefully, Job tini baby ordering him,
Uh-huh.
and this is God
Yeah.
who is just boasting of this little man, like,
Yeah.
oh, Job, no, Job, the only then cry, he'll still love me the same way. And when you look at it, it's not because Job faulted at anything,
Right.
it's just because God wanted to prove something to the devil.
Mm.
Job lost everything. He lost everything. But when you bring it to now, because right now it's not written and we are reading,
Yeah.
sometimes you feel it, you hear people talk about it, you see it, it
Yeah.
hurts. Right? Now, good things, what do we, me and you, call good?
Mm-hmm.
Because when you go back to the Bible, it says the things that we consider good
I know.
is now bad things happen to good people. When you look at, sometimes you can blame the devil, sometimes you can ask God questions, sometimes you can blame some auntie sitting somewhere who will push you. But truth of the matter is that yes, there's no definite way to really talk about it well.
Yeah.
But I think the only thing that should is that God knows what he's doing.
Absolutely.
God always knows what is, whether it's good, it's bad, it's ugly, it's beautiful, whatever it is. God always knows what He's doing. So yes, even sometimes you may not lose your family.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes you may lose your investment,
Right.
and you ask, but I was doing everything right. I was
What did
paying my
I
tithes.
exactly?
I was doing God. Why? God
Where
knows.
did you get it wrong?
Exactly. Like you ask questions. Sometimes someone is pregnant, they lose their pregnancy. It's not like they did anything wrong. But at the end of the day, because we can't phantom it,
Yeah.
we can't come to the exact moment like, what did I even do?
Yeah.
Because when you count back, you realize that you did everything right. But the truth of the matter is there are some things that are only known to God. And I
Yeah.
think we should leave it like that.
Yeah.
Right? Because you can ask questions.
Yeah.
You
There are
can
things that
y- y-
don't have explanations to.
exactly. Maybe
No,
when we get to heaven, we can ask God. But right
no
now,
theology. Naturally
exactly,
can.
exactly. So I mean, there are moments like that where the people lose their families, like the family you are talking about.
Yeah.
They didn't do anything wrong.
Yeah.
One
Was just a
and
drunk
it's
driver.
it's in those moments you say, "I'm like God, but where were you? You could have literally stopped it."
Mm,
But there are some things that are only known to God, and I
yeah.
think we should leave it to God. When we get to heaven, we all have questions, don't
Yeah.
we?
Yes, we
Yeah.
do.
So to all the families or to all individuals that have had this kind of things that happen to us, sometimes it might be the smallest thing. You write exams, you fail, not because you didn't study, but just because God knows what He's doing. So
Yeah.
I think, yes, it doesn't mean God doesn't love you. It doesn't mean that God hates you or whatever. It's just because God knows what He's doing.
Yeah.
So alas, let's leave it to God.
Yeah. And I think that to add to it, when this thing happened, the time it happens, there are no explanations.
Yeah.
There are lots of questions, a lot of doubts.
Mm-hmm.
Where was God, like you're saying?
Yeah.
But eventually, over time, you realize that it works out.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
It tends to work out.
Yeah.
It's easy as I'm saying it, but it sounds easy,
Yeah. It does.
but it's not very easy
It's
when
really
you're
not.
going through all of that. But
Yeah.
at the end of the day, you do realize that it works out for you
Yeah.
anyway.
Yeah.
You may not
Yeah.
understand. I of course had an issue, um, an experience where I lost my car, just waking up in the morning trying to get to work, and the car wasn't parked there anymore. And I asked myself a lot of questions.
Yeah.
Okay, well, I wasn't my best at the time. Maybe I went to do some crazy thing somewhere. God was punishing me, or maybe. But I asked a lot of questions.
Yeah.
Ask
Yeah.
a lot of questions. Just months, about a month. I mean, within that same month or a month after I lost my car, my mom was in a critical situation where we had to operate her. Then I was asking, okay, why are all these things happening? What have
Mm,
I done?
mm.
At that time, I didn't understand
Yeah.
why all of these things were happening. But today, I can boldly say without any doubt that it has worked out.
Yeah.
One thing about God is that the enemy wants you to fail, right? Because he feels that your failure is the end.
Mm-hmm.
But God is one person that can use your failure.
Yeah. Yeah.
Where the enemy feels that this is the end, so the enemy wants you to fail in your marriage.
Mm-hmm.
He wants your education to fail. He wants you to lose your job. At that point, where the enemy succeed in doing that, now you've lost your job. The enemy
Yeah.
feels that I've taken advantage. I'm done with him.
Mm-hmm.
That is where God begins,
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
that is where God takes your mess, and makes a nice story,
Yeah.
a nice message out of that
Mm-hmm.
mess. So whatever happens at that time, you are in a mess. The enemy feels like, Menyano, I've
Mm-hmm.
defeated this guy.
Mm-hmm.
Yes,
Mm-hmm.
yes, yes. That's why you don't have to um 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 disconnect from God.
Yeah.
Because I've realized irrespective of the situation, God always finds a way to put you together and make a story
Out of it.
out of you.
Yeah.
So it always works out
Mm-hmm.
for your good. It
Mm-hmm.
always works
Mm-hmm.
out. Yeah. And that's great. Any final thing to add?
I think yeah, I think that's it. You've concluded on it. But
Yeah.
to the person watching right now, why do you think bad things happen to good people?
Yeah.
Let's hear your comments.
Righty.
Bye,
Peace out.
guys.